talking about hard work, why it pays and why sometimes it doesn't, right? And how to find a balance in between. Of course, we move on the conversation. It's now time for a health conversation. We'll be continuing our cervical cancer series. Dr. Oum-Kalsoum Zakaria-Adams is in studio with us. She is a public health advocate and also a maxillofacial surgeon. She's been taking us through the series, and it's time for, a practical, conversation on all that we've been doing for the month of January on cervical cancer. Doc, good morning and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Good morning.
How's your week been?
Oh, tiring, but then I can't complain.
I saw you were in Formina.
Yes.
How was Formina?
Formina is beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, very beautiful, especially the Dancy North
area.
The hospital
Okay.
that we went to. And you wonder if it's in Ashanti region, actually.
Hey,
yeah.
no.
Because the greens
I'm offended on behalf of Edo Safo. But we'll let it slide. And we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. It looks
so
nicer
beautiful.
than you thought.
Nicer than in fact, if they are able to maintain the greenery and then also the facilities,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Is it a hospital or the whole area?
No, the hospital.
The hospital.
We're within the hospital, yes.
Oh, okay.
The area
if you let it slide, it's fine.
it looks mountainous and very serene as well. So I think basically the hospital itself in the area.
Is there a new hospital? Is that Agenda 111 hospital?
It's actually a new hospital. They turned just 2 years, just some few.
Oh, then I'm probably sure it's part of the Agenda 111.
Yes, likely.
Hospital.
Yeah,
but have any of them been constructed? Like completed?
This government says no. MPP say yes. The truth is somewhere in the middle. We don't know.
Okay.
Wow.
So we were in Formina, and the reason was for the national launch by the Medical Women Association of Ghana to mark the activities, the month-long activities for cervical cancer awareness and then screening as well. So Ashanti region this time round did the launch where we had the Queen Mother and other dignitaries come on board to hear about cervical cancer, to also add their voices to the advocacy so that women out there come in their numbers to be part of the screening. Actually, on that day before we left off, we had close to about 50 ladies having their screening, and most of them were first-timers.
Wow.
You get it, yes, and most of them were first-timers. So it's going a long way. Once the launch has been done, the next thing would be still with this advocacy and having to do the screenings, which is the VIA, at various selected hospitals across the country, and proudly supported by Lexta Ghana, producers of YAS. And they have been in this collaboration with us for quite a number of years now. And at least for every part that you buy, for every YAS part that you buy, 1 peswa, see how small, 1 peswa goes into all of these advocacies that we are able to do, and then the free screenings that the group is able to do for the good people of Ghana. So yes, the screening was done and the importance of cervical cancer during the launch. And we expect that at least each region would have at least 100 people, 100 free screenings done for their ladies to be able to get. And it's interesting because we always say cervical cancer, but I'm sure even at the launch, I noticed that people, we talk about it, we try to raise awareness about cervical cancer, but people still think it's very far away from them. Yes, because we always use the global numbers. We say that, okay, according to GlobalCan in 2022, the incidence is about 3,072, okay? And out of that, you have about 1817 and ending up, or 1,817 losing their lives, okay? I think that the maybe when we talk about what really happens, you notice that it's very close to you. You notice that cervical cancer is not far away from you. And these are just figures that have been reported in the hospital. So imagine the numbers that have not been reported in the hospitals. And one of the things that stuck with me is that if you do take, practically, if you do take people who present with cervical cancer, let's say 10, 9 out of them will not live past 3 years.
Wow.
You get it? So maybe when we talk about it, looking at local statistics, people would be
Put the fear of God in them.
exactly. And also the fact that it's a preventable cancer, highly preventable cancer. And if you are able to go through the screening schedules that is there for you to go through it, you should be able to catch this early. We don't want people coming with symptoms. And out of the 10 that I mentioned, 10 and then 9 people not surviving go past 3 years. We are talking about what people who have presented with what symptoms. And these people who have presented with symptoms means that the cancer is already established and the cancer is spreading. You get it? But if you are able to do these screenings early, you would be able to catch the changes, the infection, even before it becomes cancer, which is very important. So maybe we'll just go directly to the practical aspect of it. So help people know that, oh, you can just walk in and have a screening done without any problems at all. So the first thing I would want to speak about is there any preparation towards the screening? Okay, so all you need is that for you to even to be able to have the pap smear done, you shouldn't be in your in your menses at the time of the whole screening process. Okay, so that you don't have anything there to obscure the cervix, and then also the blood will not obscure the vision of the operator. Okay, so you shouldn't be in your menses. Aside that, please do not use any medicines there for at least 48 hours prior to the whole procedure. Okay, and people who end up using other creams or even douching, which is not even advisable in the first place, please do not do any of these things before you have your screening done, so that it doesn't end up giving false positives for any of these. So there are different types of screening. We have the VIA. VIA means visual inspection with acetic acid. Okay, and then we have the pap smear, and then we also have looking for the HPV DNA itself within, because remember we mentioned that about greater than 95% of cervical cancer is by the HPV virus. Okay, so first of all, when you go, once you have prepared, the next thing is that you would be, so this, let's assume this is a patient. Okay, so this is a patient with the legs, so with lying on her back. Okay, with the hips flexed and then also the knees flexed, so that you would be able to give enough access to the operator for the cervix. Remember we mentioned that the cervix is not outward, it is hidden within the vagina. It protrudes within the vagina and it's hidden there. So you need to, so assuming this is the vulva, okay, and then the cervix is down there, you have your vagina also down there. So let's assume this is our speculum that we need to put in. And the speculum, what it does, it separates the anterior wall from the posterior wall of the vagina. Okay, so first of all, you just want to moisturize it a little bit with even some plain water, and then you slide it in. Okay, slide it in. There is usually something here for you to be able to tighten it. Once you tighten it, you are able to have access. You have been able to open up the vagina for you to see the cervix in there, okay, which is the mouth to the womb, or holds the mouth of the womb or the uterus. So when we open in there, what do we see? Okay, so I'll use this as an example. So this is your uterus, this is the whole thing. So if you take a cross section, that's what you see in the background of this conversation. So you would see the cervix. So this is something that you are going to, something like this, okay? With the shiny surface, the surface is smooth with a tiny hole there, which we call the external os, with the internal one being inside, which you can't see. So this is what you are going to see when you look. So first of all, when you expose with a speculum, you want to observe, you want to check, are there any growths? How does it look? Does it look healthy? Does it look unhealthy? What does the color look like? Okay, so that's the first observation with good light. Then if you want to go ahead and do the VIA, what you do is that you need to dab the surface of the surface area here that you see with acetic acid. So acetic acid is like vinegar, okay? So you would dab the area and then you just wait for a few minutes, about 3 minutes to 5 minutes. Now, after waiting for these number of minutes, if there is any dysplastic change in the cervix, you see that that area would turn white. So we call it aceto-white changes in the cervix. So why does it actually turn white? The reason is that when we say that there are changes or dysplastic changes, it means that the cells there are dividing uncontrollably. And these cells have nuclear material, they have a lot of proteins, they are trying to divide and then grow. But the acetic acid or the vinegar has the ability to be able to show that and then denature the proteins, because there'll be a lot of proteins in the cells that are dividing. So it will show that denatured protein there. So if you visualize, you see that, okay, there's a white patch somewhere, and that aceto-white change is there. So what do? You go ahead and treat it.
Okay.
So we call it screen and treat, which is the VIA. It affords you that ability to screen, at the same time you treat there and then. So what are you going to do? You ablate it. So ablative therapy. So either you use extremes of temperature. So either you use cold ice or use some heat that is controlled to be able to kill the cells there. So once you kill, then. So you kill the cells there. So once you kill the cells, it means that you have killed the abnormal or the unhealthy cells there, and you would be given a review date where you would come back for a repeat of this screening. And it also affords the cervix the time to be able to recuperate, so that new cells would, new healthy cells would replace whatever diseased cells that are there. So that's the VIA. And it takes you just about, maximum I would say 10 minutes. You should be done with this VIA test. However, if it is the pap smear is the same process as we have mentioned. You expose the cervix in the same way, but then it comes with you using a swab. So either a brush, there's a brush that you will take some cells from the external, the internal, and then the surface area as well. And then you put it on a glass slide. So that glass slide will then be transported directly to the lab, and then the cells will be viewed under the microscope to be able to tell if there are changes within the cervix, the cells of the cervix that have been collected. So for the pap smear, you're going to collect some cells from the cervix, and then it is taken to the lab. It is observed under the microscope, and then you'll be given a report. So that it will take a little while for you to get a report on the findings of your cervix.
Does it hurt when they're taking the cells?
Not at
for
all.
the
It is
pap smear?
very, I mean, painless.
Okay.
You may just feel that there's something that is rubbing around the cervix. That is all. As for the VIA, you may have a stinge, just a little stinge, discomfort because of the acetic acid that is used on the surface of the cervix.
Okay.
So it's painless. If it has to do with pain, please, ladies, come out and get it done, because it's painless. Okay. So that is what goes on when it comes to the pap smear and then the VIA. Now, the third modality of screening is you looking for the HPV DNA. Okay. So it comes with with a pap smear complementary. So I'll take the cells. Now, when I take the cells, I take it to the lab. I look at it under the microscope to tell for any changes. And then also, I look out for the HPV, the presence of the HPV DNA there. So you run some PCR to be able to tell if it is there or it's not. Now, the difference between these three that I have mentioned is that for the VIA, you can do VIA PAP, you can do every 3 years, depending on your age. And then for your co-testing, that's if you are doing the pap smear and the HPV DNA, that you can do every 5 years.
Okay.
So it's not every year, or it's not as frequent, or depending on the state of your cervix, you can be recommended shorter periods. But once you have a negative test, or once you have normal findings, then you would have to do either the 3 years or the 5 years, depending on it. Now, when you open the cervix,
Doc, hold on, before you go on, you said depending on your age. So
yes. So
clarify.
from 21 to 29 years, you can do your regular pap smear every 3 years, pap or VIA.
Okay.
But once you are 30 to 65, it's recommended that aside the pap, you can do the HPV DNA testing. Very, very important. In fact, certain jurisdictions, it's recommended that after 45 or 45 and above, it's better that you don't even need to do the VIA. It's better you do the pap or the HPV DNA testing. Okay, so those are the age-dependent modalities that you can utilize for the screening. So when I open up the cervix, this is to demonstrate the different types of findings that you may see. Okay? So just like in the picture, you can see that this particular cervix, when you look at it, it's not smooth.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some growth on the cervix. It doesn't look shiny and pink with a healthy mucosa. It looks very rough. It looks like it's even bleeding. You know, the external os has lost its shape as opposed to this one, which was healthy. So this is just to show the different stages of disease that you may find in the cervix. So this is another one. So this is another one also showing the same thing. You can see that even this one, the shape of the external os has been distorted, and there's a large growth. So this one may look very small, but then this looks very advanced disease. And once you come with this cervix, the treatment is not as simple. It takes much more extensive investigations, doing a metastatic workup to be able to stage it, and then you'll be given the needed management or treatment that is available. Okay? And then this is another one. So you can see it's a range. This is another one, and then this is another one, showing the different stages that a cervix can present. And it's interesting because people may end up coming not because they are concerned about the fact that they want to know their health. They come because of their symptoms they are experiencing. Exactly. So looking at such a cervix, you notice that if somebody is having a sexual intercourse with such a patient, the growth here, once you hit on it, is going to break off, and then you end up with the bleeding we were talking about earlier. There may be it looks infected. There may be in a foul, smelly discharge coming out, and that's what will push people to come. And unfortunately, by the time they come, it may be too late to do anything curative pertaining to it. So that's why you need to come. And it doesn't just go. It takes a long while, as long as 10 years, as long as 15 years, sometimes even 20 years, depending on your immune status. You get it? So it's very, very important. Very preventable disease, but the whole thing lies in your hands, where you need to make sure that you are visiting and then having the right screening done for you depending on your age. And when you look at it, most people start being sexually active by, averagely, if you look at it in Ghana, 17 and a half years. Okay, so at that age, the moment you are sexually active, it will take you about, let's say, 2 years, 3 years, you would be exposed to the HPV, and you need to start doing your screening. If you haven't already been vaccinated, and even if you have been vaccinated, you still will need to go through the screening schedules for your age. The reason is that most people think that if they are vaccinated, that is it. But the vaccine is for particular strains of the HPV. You get it? So we know that most of the cervical cancer is caused by HPV virus infection. But you have a number of them. There are a lot of them. And also, HPV high-risk strains, HPV 16, 18, are responsible for about 70% of them. If you have 70% of them by 16 and 18, the vaccines would tackle these. But you have others that the vaccine hasn't taken care of. And even new ones are even evolving. You get it? So it's important that you need to screen. Screening is very, very important. And ladies out there need to come out and then have the screening done. So as we have demonstrated here, it is not painful. It is very, the only thing you may feel is a little discomfort during the placement of the speculum. You get it? And you don't need to do much to be ready to have this screening done. You get it? So it's very friendly. If I hope I've been able to demystify.
You have, because I was
and
looking
then
at
get
it from
people
a discomfort point of view. And
yes.
it seems to be, you know, but even though
So-
my
Yes, so it's very important, and then you need to come out there and then have this screening there. So this is also just showing the same thing. So this is the whole womb out there. So when I open up, this is what I'm going to have it. This is what will be in view. Okay. So I see, and this whole canal down there is your vaginal canal, which has been opened up for you to be able to see.
If somebody's watching and they want to get in touch with you, you know, probably even want to sponsor this remarkable initiative, how and where can they reach you?
Okay, so I will drop my email. They can send me an email, and definitely I should be able to reach out to them in terms of sponsorship, in terms of having to even help with any of these to get to all the hard-reach areas, to get more people to talk about cervical cancer, to get more people interested in the screening, and to get more people to demystify some of the myths and misconceptions
and the stereotypes. Very
exactly.
important.
So I'm sure it can be displayed.
On the screen.
So Oum-Kalsoum@gmail.com.
Please take that. Say that.
Oum-Kalsoum
Oum-Kalsoum@gmail.com.
@gmail.com.
Say sometimes.
Yes, you can get.
Can you
through
please
to me.
spell it for us? So
Okay,
type
so ZOUMKALSOUM@gmail.com.
amazing. Doc, thank you
Yeah.
so much for the time.
Thank you.
It's
too
always
for
a
having me.
pleasure. So guys, this particular conversation will be up on our YouTube channel, ChannelOne TV. Go online, you know, subscribe, share, watch for yourself if you missed any part. Also importantly, the ChannelOne News app has all of these exciting, you know, conversations and discussions. So you know what to do. Go on the Google Play Store and download it. It's now time to move on the conversation from health to another issue that is fast